Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game that we're making. So we're still trying to get these monsters balanced, but we're definitely making progress. It's mainly a matter of figuring out how strong their attacks are and how much health they should have. And in fact, right now I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out how much health they should have. So we're gonna play through a little bit of the dungeon here to kind of figure that out. So far, no encounters. Oh, there's an encounter. Just going to quickly get rid of these guys. And of course, these guys are going to be obnoxious with their MP stealing. Given the circumstances, maybe 3 of these is too much, because I only need 2 to restore. Let me try that again. Maybe 5 MP restored is too much. Also, I'm going to want to make sure that the burnt leaf is actually used. Right now, we seem to have unlimited supply uses of them. I kind of want to see how fast we take care of the harpies without Daristrix on our team. So going to skip him. More burnt flowers. Actually, let's go ahead and skip this fight. Want to see how much damage we deal to the harpies without any possible level up happening. Yeah, that was a wise choice because Monkey's got one experience point to the next level. So now this is a little bit more. This will allow us to kind of figure out how to handle these guys. So 2 attacks against the harpy. What does that do for us? Still need to get their actual attack going. Why did you get a critical hit? You know what? Whatever. We'll use that to determine how much health they have. So let's go to data and look at the information for Harpy. Got down to 940 HP, which means it's taken 60 points of damage. Thanks in part to a critical hit. Now, how much damage was Monkey C causing in particular? 36 points of damage. So I'm gonna say perhaps we would cause 70, yeah, we'll say 70 HP for the harpies. Now let's go ahead and kind of scooch on down here and trigger a fight. Well, actually first, let's go into settings, make sure we're invincible, and see how much damage we're gonna cause to the gargoyles. So, gotta keep in mind a couple of things. One, we're causing extra damage thanks to those charge attacks triggering counterattacks. Two, we could be causing less damage because we're asleep. So, on that first gargoyle, we have caused, looks to be 87 points of damage, thereabouts. Let's go ahead and get the level up that I was talking about before. See how much damage we're causing once we have leveled up. Just to make sure... Yeah, sleep wears out after battle. So let's go ahead and get rid of these burnt flowers real quick. Get Monkey See and Jenny both leveled up. You know, it's been a while. What have I taught Monkey See to learn next? Attack +5, Dispel, probably? Yeah, Dispel. So what is it that Jenny's going to learn next? Get her leveled up real quick. Anesthesia, which casts sleep, would certainly be useful. Gonna kind of keep that in mind. Does she have a special attack yet? No. What level does she learn the special attack at? Level 9. Yeah, that's right. She gains 4 levels as a nurse to gain that special attack. Alright, now that we buffed up our stats a little bit, let's see how much damage we're causing against the Sky Goyles now. Those are not Sky Goyles, and they're ambushing us. You are only wasting our time. And that was a counterattack simply because Monkey See sometimes does that. Skip across this. There's definitely only going to be Sky Goyles around here. Along with a roaming trigger for the wind sound effect. I was about to say, where are you guys? There you are. That time we resisted. Let's kind of hypothetical get that extra damage in from a counterattack. Alright, so that time you've taken around 90 points of damage. So what I probably want to do is give these guys around 100 HP. Yeah, we'll say 100 for Sky Goyles, which just leaves the big guy down here. Now that we've leveled up, we can definitely kind of check him out. So there's going to be 2 of these, so of course I'm going to want to get in a couple of attacks here. So let's see what we're doing after hitting these guys twice. That could potentially be very painful, having them attack 3 times. Might want to give them a chance of not attacking 3 times. Sometimes have them do nothing. Alright, how much damage did you take? 150 points of damage. So maybe 175 HP would be good for you? Yeah, we'll say that would be a good amount. So let's go ahead and take care of this stuff. So Harpy, probably 70, 70, we'll say for the moment. Sky Goyle having 100 HP. And Many Man 175. How's that compared to the Iron Giant 60? We're definitely more capable than we were then. Also, I might have to go through that again to check out how much damage I'm causing, because it occurs to me that the Many Man was not having his fire resistance on. In fact, let's check the Harpy. Okay, the Harpy was correct. Burnt Flower, correct. Okay, let's go back and do the Mini Man. Actually, before I do, there's one thing I want to do real quick before I forget. We're also going to have the wind sound effect as we leave this map. So, let me go back up here. There's the wind sound. Copy-paste it to the exit, which currently doesn't exit anywhere, but it will eventually. And there was something else I feel like I wanted to do, but I forget what it... Oh, yeah! We're going to the Many Man. We need to give him a chance of not doing anything. So, we'll say 5 equal possibilities. So, 20... 20 is going to be that. 20, 20, 60. So, 4 out of 5 chance that he'll attack. 1 out of 5 chance that he won't do anything. Thereabouts. Or do I want that a little higher? Nah, I say have it there. That'll do for the moment. Maybe. Maybe? Let's drop both of these by 3. I'm a little bit more comfortable with that arrangement. And let me look at the Sky Goyle again. What is attack patterns? Yeah. Let's kind of lower these a little bit, because they were definitely not attacking very often. So let's drop all of them by 3. That's a little bit better. And by the way, I mentioned the possibility of setting a quick save down below so that we don't have to go through this cutscene again, but it's probably for the best that we do this, because this room is programmed to have this play out every time you enter it. So if I put a quick save in here, that would play out every time we entered it, which also would mean that Jenny would eventually wind up moving to who knows where, because she keeps moving every time the room is triggered. Did not want Daristrix on my team. Totally did not want Daristrix on my team. You know what? That's not a big deal. We don't necessarily... Oh, that was the other thing I wanted. To lower the amount that the leaf healed. Alright, let me go into plan real quick. Actually, let me make us invisible, and then go to plan. Daristrix, don't do anything. Alright, let's get us back up both of a level. Let's see how this plays out with Daristrix. Oh yeah, also need to work on that. Get these spells actually causing... Of course Daristrix is guarding. I told him not to do anything. So why would I go into this battle and say, hey, let's see how this plays out with Daristrix? He's not going to spit fire at them. He's not going to do anything. So why I thought he would do something, I don't know. Here, let's do this. Jenny will probably use sleep. Not what I expected, but sure. This is going slower than I expected. Aren't any of you going to try out the rods that you are carrying? I'm pretty sure we have one. By the way, when an enemy is made to fall asleep, they're also woken right back up as soon as they're attacked physically. Possibly magically, but for certain physically. Alright, we got our stats. Let's go ahead and see how much damage we can cause against... What do we have equipped? Ice Stick, right. Okay, so... should be a different amount of damage when we go up against the... Mini-Man. There he is. Yeah, Jenny is definitely the healer in the group. So, by the way, when you counterattack, you only counterattack with one of your weapons. Which is why Daristrix did not use both of his hands to counter. So this time... you've taken a significantly less amount of damage, I'm pretty sure. Let me try it again, I lost track. This time without the gargoyles kind of mussing things up. You were not supposed to counterattack. But you know what? You're counterattacking. Let's find out how much we're causing without the counterattacks, shall we? Okay, please don't counterattack. So, the mini-man on the right. Okay, so that was correct from before. I wasn't terribly certain. So in this case, it looks like they've taken 80 damage. Well, that one has. The other one took a beating because of those counterattacks. So, 80 damage to get rid of you, cause points of damage like that. So maybe we don't want to give you that much HP. So 80 points would be where we want it then? Here, let's simplify things a little bit. And 80 would probably be good. Skygoyle with 100 HP. We have not figured out how strong these guys are yet. We do know how strong you are. Let's just go ahead and create yourself a spell here. We're gonna say that Gus causes 15 points of damage. And it's magic wind, which is why it causes damage. So it uses 1 MP, and you can probably use it 3 times in battle. And that's how that's going to work. Okay, along with that, okay, Harpy, we're gonna say Harpy's done. Off camera, I'll make sure that all the stats are balanced, but more or less we'll say that Harpy's done. So the Harpy's got an attack of 71. Mini-Man would have an attack of probably stronger. Possibly 80. And his fire magic will be a little bit strong. We'll say causes 20 points of damage. We'll set it to 1 MP once again, that way we can be all, hey, you can use it so many times. We'll say 5 times. And Sky Girl, with his charge attack, probably weaker by default, but the charge attack will allow him to cause more damage, and he also of course has the sleep and stuff. So we'll say 64. Attack is 64. And of course he's got that magic going on as well. Now this one I'll have a little bit more MP usage. So this will be using 10 MP. And that'll be using... No, actually they should probably use the same amount. Because we're trying to create an illusion here where it's one spell but with multiple possible effects. Now that's some pretty deadly stuff though, so we'll say you can only do this stuff twice. And I'm kind of like eyeballing it as far as their health and stuff goes at this point. Especially their attack. But I think I think this would be pretty decent. In fact, let's say we actually play through this section for real and see what that's actually like. Oh, wait. Actually, let's back up. Burnt leaf. Here's 3 MP. Alright, now let's go ahead and play through this section legitimate, see what it's like. And we might be able to call the underside of the castle done today. Assuming there's nothing else that I'm forgetting. Now, I'll kind of play through this like I don't know what I'm doing. There's a switch over there. Of course, we're going to go see what that does. And, okay, that did a thing. Nope, encounters. Now, what items do we have again? Well, we got cheer, but we don't really need to be cheering. We have... Oh, that's why we weren't using any fire sticks to deal extra damage. We're not carrying any. Should have bought more. I might have to like replay from earlier in the game off camera to make sure we get all our stuff and the correct amount of money that we need. Alright, Daristrix, do your stuff. That's kind of overkill, but okay. Now clearly we can get around here. So what's up here you wonder? Well, we're gonna wonder some more, cause we got this stuff going on. Let's go ahead and try confusing them all. Make one of the harpies go to sleep. And that one's no longer confused, but it is asleep. That worked out. Actually, considering how much damage that just caused, maybe I'll give those things 8 HP. Level up for Jenny. And then we as a player would grab that. Oh yeah, there is something I'm kind of forgetting here. That treasure chest. No wait, I'm not forgetting that treasure chest. Kind of weird that it's sitting open. And I think I know why it's open. So, that treasure chest there is... Hold on a sec. Sleep. That treasure chest there is a treasure event. Which, by the way, I think you have a limited amount of treasure events for your game. I'm not entirely sure. I think there is, though. But internally, if I had to guess, treasure events are assigned a number. And that treasure chest there, I used to have somewhere else for memory card number 1. But of course, I'm working on memory card 2 now, so that treasure chest that was only available on memory card 1, I decided, well, we don't need that there anymore, so I cut it out and now we're on memory card 2. But I feel like that treasure chest has the same assigned number as the treasure chest from before. I think the best way to explain this is through example with events. Because that treasure chest thinks it's a treasure chest that I already opened, is basically what I'm trying to get at. And in fact, since I have to explain this, I'm almost out of time, so let me go ahead and we'll forego the testing there. Let me explain basically what's going to happen. What's the deal with it? So imagine that imagine that this is a treasure chest. And then we create another treasure event, hypothetically. That one is assigned number 2, and then I created another one somewhere and it was assigned number 3. So these were in on the first memory card, these hypothetical treasure events. But now we're on the second memory card, so one of them we could no longer get to. So I would get rid of that. And then eventually I wound up creating the treasure chest that was already opened there in the cave. And because that other one was taken away, now this one is assigned the same number. So it thinks that since I already opened treasure chest number 1, that must mean this treasure number 1 is the one that I opened, according to what it thinks. Now, because I'm doing a scenario change where I go from memory card 1 to memory card 2, RPG Maker across the scenario change automatically resets all treasure events. It would assume that I never opened any of them. So if I were playing this properly, this one would be properly reset. But since I'm on test play, that kind of messes things up a little bit. So that is the explanation with that, and I hope it was understandable. Make sure I cancel out of this so that this is still the way it's supposed to be. And we are going to pretty much be done with this for today. Really hope that I was able to get to the next section. Once again, I predicted that I was going to get farther than I actually did. Oh well. At least in the next stream, I can definitely say we'll be making some new progress. For now, we are done. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Also, I feel really good about that explanation. I think I did a really good job on it.